and that governance is accountable to the people, and that political transitions are seamless and they are violent-free. Of the Federal Republic of Nigeria already in situ. I welcome you all. I thank you for your presence. I also want to thank the members of the Diplomatic Corps, representatives of various countries and friends of Nigeria. Your Excellencies, we're very delighted that you could make it into the room, and we thank you for being here. We salute your resilience, we salute your support for the nation, and we appreciate you. Already we have in our midst members of the Federal Executive Council. We have Engineer Professor Joseph Telumun Utsev, the Honorable Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, who has already joined us this morning. I see the Minister of National Planning already here, and as I ought to be wearing glasses at my age. I'm not wearing one right now, but as soon as the list arrives here, I will recognize all the members of the Federal Executive Council that have already joined us this morning. What can we say? When we see our coppers, it reminds us of what a diverse and unified nation we are. We salute the coppers who have joined us in their midst, in their numbers today, wearing that uniform I wore in 1981. In 1981, I was a copper at Abeokuta, which is one of my second homes. And because I wore that uniform, I feel akin to all of you. I welcome our coppers. Congratulations. This is a very special place to be. I appreciate your presence, and we know that we cannot talk about Nigeria without talking about tomorrow's leaders. And you're here today to join us in this Democracy Day public lecture. I'm quite aware that we have already in our midst the Director General of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, KURU, our keynote speaker, Professor Ayo Omotayo, is already in our midst today. We appreciate his presence and we thank him for being here. What a lovely day it is when heads of government agencies also join us for this activity. I see my brother, the Director General of the Voice of Nigeria, already seated. It's so good to see you. I see members of our security apparatchik. In the United States, they spend a lot of time thanking security men and women for their service. They give them a right of space when they get on the plane. They give them the opportunity to get on the buses first. They thank them every day for their service. I don't think we do enough of that in Nigeria. Without our security personnel, we would not be where we are. We would not move as freely as we can. For every 2 challenges in our security, 100 has been rescued. And we know that 100 of those rescued, and I'm using just symbolic numbers now, often happens across Nigeria without your knowledge. When the media plays only the ones you see that are challenges, nobody tells you about the ones that they rescued. And in Kogi State, only yesterday or the day before, our security men and women foiled that attack. We thank you for your service. We thank you for your service. We appreciate you. Representative of the Chief of the Army Staff, representative of the Chief of Naval Staff, representative of the Chief of the Air Force Staff, we thank you. Civil Defense, the Nigerian Correctional Service, Immigration, Customs, we thank you for your service. We thank all of you for coming, and in a short while, we will be kickstarting this event. As for the slight delay, but before long, we will kick off this 2026 Democracy Day public lecture. We welcome you once more, and we thank you for being here.
such a rush, my baby, slow down, come find your love. I'm hoping you see me, come serve it up. Loving when you stir it up. That body belong on TV. Oh, this feeling I can't hide. You're feeling up my mind, and I just don't know why.
Thank you, media. Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to greet and welcome in our midst Right Honorable Abdullahi Ibrahim Halim, Deputy Majority Leader, Federal House of Representatives, who is representing His Excellency, the Right Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives today. We welcome you, Right Honorable. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here with us. As we continue to work on recognitions, I'd like to please appeal to the protocol heads of the various heads of ministries to please make available to me the list. I do have quite a number already, but I just want to be sure that I don't miss anyone in this listing. I'd appreciate also if somebody who is responsible for the diplomatic corps will assist me to get the list of those countries that are represented here today. I'd like to call on one of the ushers to please approach the desk of the Master of Ceremony so that this activity is carried out real quick. And I'd like to have a quick listing also of those who are representing the service chiefs in the room. Can I have 2 ushers at the Master of Ceremonies desk, like right now? 2 ushers. Please make your way quickly. It doesn't matter which flank you are working on. Make your way to me so that we can quickly get this show on the road. I thank you so very much indeed. Ushers? Thank you. I've always explained to a lot of people that it's difficult to find a country like Nigeria. And it is true. There's no nation where the range of food is so amazing. By the time you get to the north and you're enjoying your miyan kuka and tuwo, and by the time you get to the north central, where I come from, and you are able to eat obegwa and ochoko, then you know you are home. At the moment, I don't know if the diplomat from Ghana is here, but the jury is not out for me about which jollof is better. You know that jollof business. Is it the one that is smoky jollof, that is made over coal and divided, distributed, handed over at a Nigerian wedding? And you know that Nigerian wedding is so good that now it's a program on international television. When you arrive at the wedding, they first give you small chops. And when I arrive, I say, I came here for the small chops. If you're not giving me small chops, please don't waste my time. The food is not as important as the small chops, you know, because the small chops is a conversation piece. Between the samosa and the spring roll, you are making a new friend. Between the geese dodo and the chicken wing, you are meeting your old friend. Small chops are the way to go at a Nigerian wedding. And what is there to say when it comes to the Ashwebi? You know, and I know that there's nothing more beautiful than looking at Nigerians at a wedding, dancing for the groom and the bride and providing what it requires to do. I want you to know that that's the best. I see the Consular General for Colombia, Maricel, Your Excellency, it's good to see you. Of course, I see all other members of the diplomatic corps who are here, and I greet you. I'd like to announce the arrival of His Excellency, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the very distinguished Senator George Akume, in the company of Honorable Mohammed Idris, FNIPR, Minister of Information, in the company of the Head of Service of the Federation, who has joined that party, coming in with the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. He stops to say hello to members of the Federal Executive Council as he makes his way into the room. And we're very delighted to have such a genuine list of members of the Federal Executive Council on a day such as this, which is the day when we celebrate Nigeria's democracy, and we continue to do same year after year. Today is a public lecture, and this public lecture is important. Mrs. Didi Esther Wilson-Jack, Head of Service of the Federation, has also joined us, along with other ministers of the Federal Republic who are here in their situ. Your Excellency, we welcome you, sir. In a short while, we will be saluting the nation. Please be seated. Thank you for giving him his maximum respect. We appreciate you. Thank you. I'd like to use this opportunity to greet and welcome the keynote speaker, Professor Ayo Omotayo, DG NIPS. I'd like to put on record that Major General Kennedy Osemwigwe is representing the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Aminu Umar, representative of the Chief of Army Staff, Rear Admiral Jonathan Umunuji Mamman, representative of the Chief of Naval Staff, and Air Vice Marshal Anthony Adekunle Martins, representative of the Chief of the Air Staff. We want to salute your presence and appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, shall we rise for the national anthem? Thank you.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians, oh, and
Thank you very much. You may be seated. Your Excellency, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the very distinguished Senator George Akume, members of the Federal Executive Council here present, the Head of Service of the Federation, permanent secretaries here present, our keynote speaker, Director General NIPS Kuru, Professor Ayo Omotayo. I'd like to take a moment to specially recognize and welcome in a very celebratory way Right Honorable Abdullahi Ibrahim Halims, Deputy Majority Leader, Federal House of Representatives, representing His Excellency, Right Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives. We welcome you, sir. Heads of government and extra ministerial departments here present, captains of industry, representative of the Chief of Defense Staff, representative of our service chiefs, heads of security agencies here present, members of the diplomatic corps in their numbers, we greet you, esteemed traditional rulers and their representatives, women's groups, youth groups, especially members of the NYSC. I also salute the Director General of the NYSC who attends to the future of Nigeria, the leaders of Nigeria. I want to use this opportunity to welcome our esteemed guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you to the 2026 Democracy Day public lecture. Today, Thursday, 11th of June, the year of our Lord 2026, taking place as the State House Conference Center, Presidential Villa, Abuja. Everybody is warmly welcome. The theme, 27 years of democratic governance in Nigeria, achievements, challenges, and the road ahead. According to an American psychologist, philosopher, and educational reformer, the cure for the ills of democracy is more democracy. The number of African countries that have adopted democratic systems of government has grown since decolonization, the collapse of communism, and the ending of a number of civil wars. Democracy matters because it protects individuals' freedoms, ensures government's accountability, and empowers citizens to shape their own future. It replaces violent power struggles with peaceful transitions of power and provides a voice for all citizenry, including minorities. As it happened last year, a public lecture explicates the importance of uninterrupted democracy in Nigeria. 27 years of continuous democratic governance in a nation well apportioned within the African continent. A nation I am unprepared to trade with any other. I am, as always, a die-in-the-wool Nigerian. My name is Eugenia Abu. I'm Director of Ceremonies today, and I am a Nigerian. I thank you. As the nation, thank you. As the nation celebrates this all-important milestone, let's take a moment to invite a man I describe as my big brother, the well-respected engine room of government, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, His Excellency, the very distinguished Senator George Akume, to welcome us. Your Excellency, sir.
Please be seated. Members of the National Assembly, members of the Federal Executive Council, members of the Diplomatic Corps, permanent secretaries, and I want to recognize in a very special way the military who are here well represented. They're standing in for the service chiefs. And you know what the chiefs are doing. Members of the National Youth Service Corps, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to this event. As you are aware, the programs line up to mark the 2026 celebration of Democracy Day began with a special Jumat prayers on Friday, 5th June. The interdenominational church service on Sunday, 7th of June, and the Word Press Conference, which was held on Tuesday, 9th June 2026. These activities were carefully arranged as a build-up to the intellectual stage of the celebration. These activities, combined with this public lecture, point to the depth and worth of our diversity and our collective resolve as a people to recognize and celebrate invaluable democratic freedom. Give thanks to Almighty God and also contribute to the body of knowledge by drawing from our experiences under the military leadership in the past and building on our hopes for the future. Today, we have lined up a lecture to be delivered by none other than the Director General of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, NIPS, Professor Tayo Motayo. NIPS is the prestigious think tank institute where our current and future policymakers are baked into world-class experts in governance and leadership. It ranks among the most respected institutions on policy and governance in the world. What you'll be hearing from the DG, therefore, is the best cerebral and intellectual work that Nigeria can boast of. 27 years ago, on the 29th of May, 1999, Nigeria made a decisive return to democratic governance. The solemn ceremony of transition on 29th of May 1999 was a bond between the Nigerian state and its people. It was a hallowed promise that the will of the citizens would henceforth be the foundation of governance. The democratic journey since 1999 has nevertheless had its own challenges, which is normal with every country. The significant lesson, however, is that it has been a journey of resilience and determination. Nigeria has conducted 8 successive general elections, each one testing and ultimately affirming the democratic will of our dear people, who have achieved back-to-back peaceful transfer of power from one administration to another across party lines and across diverse regions of our great nation. We have also experienced a transfer from a sitting government to the opposition. While democracy has had its own challenges, the gains have been enormous. The freedom of choice to vote and be voted for is invaluable. Economically, the revenue streams have been diversified and financial inclusion for Nigerians has been expanded. Critical and social infrastructure, such as the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road, the Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway, the Abuja Makwadi Enugu highway. I'm from Benue, so yeah. Amongst others, the schools, hospitals, and so on have either been constructed or are ongoing. The power sector, which is the backbone of the economic and industrial development, has undergone devolution through legislation. Subnational entities have been empowered to play in the sector. On the socio-economic front, democratic governance has given Nigerians access to health services through the National Health Insurance Scheme and to education through the Universal Basic Education and lately through the NEFOND. Democracy has indeed enabled Nigerians to dream, to aspire, and increasingly to achieve. The need to continually carry out proper assessment of 27 years of democracy demands honesty and requires that we name our challenges as boldly as we celebrate our achievements. Electoral integrity continues to be on ascendancy. While our electoral management body and the judiciary have continuously demonstrated growing independence, we must also remind ourselves that these two great institutions are pillars of democratic governance. Democracy is not merely the act of voting, it is the guarantee that every vote counts equally. Finally, under democratic rule, we must remain conscious of the need to build national cohesion. We must not allow ethnic, religious, and regional fault lines to deepen the foundations of our democracy. We must therefore interrogate our democratic credentials and institutions on their performance and capacity to serve the needs of our diverse people. Distinguished guests, the theme of this lecture today, 27 years of democratic governance, achievement, challenges, and the road ahead, invites to reflect critically on the past and reckon with the present, while charting a bold path forward. The puzzle is, what kind of democracy do we want for Nigeria in the next 27 years, or even 30? Once again, I welcome you all to this lecture, and I urge you not to leave here today without identifying a role to play in the development and strengthening of our democratic system and practices, because we are all core stakeholders. Finally, let me leave us all with a charge. Nigeria is worth all our sacrifices, and our democracy is worth defending. The present and upcoming generation are standing on the shoulders of those who struggle for civil rule, and they have both the responsibility and opportunity to build a nation the founding fathers envisioned, which our children deserve to inherit. I want to, at this juncture, recognize my colleague, my sister, the hardworking head of civil service of the Federation. I call her Didi. It's easier for me to do that. And in council, we sit together. Didi, you are most welcome. Thank you all for listening, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
a man who has served his nation. There you go. Thank you, Nigerian students. In 1979, I was a year one student, and me too, I used to sing this bossa, bossa, bossa. SGF, sir, they need to wax that song for you. You hear that beautiful song that Nigerian Students Association, NANS, have waxed for you already this morning. We thank the SGF for that very warm welcome. And he says, quote, to continually carry out proper assessment of our years of democracy is imperative. Your Excellency, we have quite a number of members of the diplomatic corps here as well today to welcome you here. We thank you so very much for your warm welcome address. We are truly ennobled to see this day, 27th anniversary of unbroken democracy in Nigeria. And today we celebrate with the 2026 Democracy Day public lecture, this 11th June 2026 at the State House Conference Center, Presidential Villa, Abuja. It is His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, while addressing the joint session of the National Assembly in commemoration of Democracy Day 2025, that said, and I'll quote, "Every time we debate instead of battle, discuss instead of fight, argue instead of destroy, we preserve the institution of democracy. More importantly, we weave the culture of democracy into the very fabric of our nation." At the same event, the president said, "While we may not always agree, we must forge a way to work together because this is what democracy demands of us." And in his Democracy Day speech, 12th June of 2024, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said, quote, "Democracy is not merely a system of government. It is a covenant between the governed and those entrusted with the mantle of leadership," unquote. Words on marble, so powerful that they make us reflect and they make us think about how we want to carry out our democratic lives, how we want to carry out our democratic systems, and who is responsible for what as we go forward in this nation. At the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly in September of 2024, our esteemed Vice President said, and I quote, "We need the substance of democracy, not just the form," emphasizing that democracy should go beyond elections and institutions to deliver justice, security, opportunity, and improve the lives of the citizens. I'd like to say that since assuming the office of the head of service to the Federation, this woman whose passion for the service is palpable has pushed forward several reforms in the civil service, including, but not limited to, pension reforms approved by His Excellency Mr. President, which has benefited a pensioner like me. In a democratic setting, managing the civil service requires tenacity and true understanding of democratic ideals. Here then is a woman who embodies these ideals: technocrat, humanist, administrator, and a dear sister. Please help me make welcome Mrs. Didi Esther Walson Jack, head of the Civil Service of the Federation. Giving honor to whom honor is due, the permanent secretaries are upstanding for their orga. Lovely to see. Welcome.
Thank you. the Deputy Minority Leader, House of Representatives, representing the Speaker of the House, Senator George Akume, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by saying that an invitation card that says this card admits one is already teaching us a democratic lesson. No matter how important we are, everybody must respect order. Even in a democracy, there is no +1 without due process. It is therefore a great honor to join you today as we commemorate Nigeria's Democracy Day and reflect on 27 years of uninterrupted democratic governance. This occasion is not only a celebration of our national journey, but also a call to deeper responsibility, stronger institutions, and renewed faith in the promise of Nigeria. Democracy is much more than elections. It is about service, accountability, inclusion, justice, participation, and the continuous improvement of the lives of citizens. Over the years, Nigeria has recorded important achievements, peaceful transitions, stronger civic engagement, expanding freedoms, and growing public demand for transparency and results. However, we must also be honest that democracy is a continuous journey of improvement. As a nation, we must continue to deepen inclusion, strengthen institutions, expand opportunities, improve security, and rebuild citizens' confidence in governance. These are not reasons for despair, they are reasons for action. At the heart of democracy is trust. Trust between citizens and government. Trust between leaders and the people. Trust between institutions and those they are established to serve. When citizens trust government, they are more willing to participate, cooperate, obey the law, pay attention to policies, and believe that their voices matter. When government earns that trust through fairness, transparency, consistency, and results, democracy becomes stronger and more meaningful. For us in the Federal Civil Service, democracy places a sacred duty on public institutions. The civil service must be professional, responsive, innovative, ethical, and citizen-centered. Policies must move from paper to impact. Programs must translate into real benefits. Citizens must feel government not as a distant authority, but as a reliable partner in their daily lives. Under the renewed hope agenda of His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, we remain committed to building a civil service that supports national development, delivers measurable results, embraces digital transformation, strengthens performance management, and upholds the values of integrity, hard work, diligence, and empathy. These are not abstract ideals, but practical tools for rebuilding confidence in public institutions and strengthening the bond between government and citizens. As we mark this Democracy Day, I urge us to renew our commitment to a Nigeria where democracy delivers, institutions endure, and citizens are proud participants in nation building. Above all, let us commit ourselves to rebuilding and deepening trust. Trust in our institutions, trust in our leadership, trust among citizens, and trust in the future of our great country. I must, before I leave the stage, thank His Excellency Senator George Akume and the entire planning committee for the honor of giving this short address. I wish each and every one of us in the hall and all Nigerians a happy Democracy Day, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Truly a woman very much after my heart, one who understands the civil service like the back of her hand, and one who is very robust in insisting that the right things must be done at the right time. She says we should be pleased that there has been peaceful transitions, expanded freedoms. We must also be aware that democracy is a continuous journey of improvement, and the power of trust between governments and citizens are important. I see the representative of the Speaker is on his feet, and the Honorable Minister of Information on his feet as well. Congratulations, very well done, very well said. She now takes her time to say hello to members of the Federal Executive Council. She also says that policies must move from policy to impact, and the power of trust between government and the citizens is a sine qua non. Let's hear another round of applause for our esteemed head of service. We thank you so very much. I'd like to crave your indulgence to give me a few minutes, not very long, because we know that we must get this show on the way and we must be timely, as it were, to recognize and welcome members of the Federal Executive Council that are here. Excellency Atiku Bagudu, Minister of Budget and National Planning. We welcome you, sir. Honorable Idi Maiha, Minister of Livestock Development, is here with us. We greet you, sir. Prince Shuaibu Audu, Minister of Steel Development, is here with us. Engineer Professor Utsev, the Honorable Minister of Water Resources, is here with us. We thank you for being here. Honorable Bello Mohammed Goronyo, Esquire, Minister of State for Works. Honorable Dr. Doris Anite, Minister of State Budget and National Planning. Dr. Ishak Adekunle Salako, Honorable Minister of State Health. And Minister of State Regional Development, His Excellency Ubameigari Amadou is also here. We welcome you, sir. The Honorable Minister of State Regional Development bears my maiden name. My maiden name is Amadou, even though the Abu family will be complaining, but that's my father's name, and it's always a pleasure to see you. Welcome. I'd like to greet and welcome the representative of the Minister of Defense, Mr. Richard Filangwa, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, representing the Honorable Minister of Defense. We thank you for being here. We appreciate your presence. It's always good to see the gathering of the best amongst the countries that are friendly with Nigeria, who have made their way to join us on this very special 2026 Democracy Day public lecture. Please help me welcome Maricel Romero, Colombian Honorable Consulate, who is here with us today. We greet and welcome Honorable Jan Valing, the Deputy Ambassador, Indonesia Embassy. We greet and welcome Zisinos Vergos, Deputy Ambassador, European Union. We greet and welcome Elif Dodo, Deputy Ambassador, Turkey. And we're very happy to have with us Balamino Silva, Ambassador, Cape Verde. We have Tunde J. Spencer, Deputy Ambassador, Liberia. Michael Aloy, Head Mission, Central African Republic. Abdallah Al-Maimi, Qatar Embassy. Isa Kalakechi, Ambassador of Lebanon. Your Excellency, we welcome you. Ambassador Muhammad Abdallah, Ambassador of Sudan. Ambassador Omar Coulibaly, Ambassador of Mali. Mohammed Usman, Ambassador of Somalia. Julius Sandy, Ambassador of Sierra Leone. Gileto Lima, Chargé d'Affaires, Angola. Lindy Moninel, Deputy High Commissioner, South Africa. Ibrahim Boussaif, Ambassador, Saharian Republic. We greet Francisco Ndongwa, Equatorial Guinea. Mr. Farouk Hussein, Deputy High Commission, Bangladesh. And we greet Mr. Momeno, Chargé d'Affaires, Sao Tome and Principe. Maxwell Range, Ambassador Zimbabwe. Ambassador Leges Haley, Ethiopia. Ambassador Mezouid Hojini, Ambassador Algeria. Sayed Mirjouset, Chargé d'Affaires, Iran. We greet Bagle Sidoni, Deputy Ambassador, Burkina Faso. Miriam Morales, Cuban Ambassador, my friend and sister. There you are, good to see you. Mihoshi Kizaki, Chargé d'Affaires, Japan. And Leila Bin Souda, High Commissioner, Australia. Mohamed Foual, Ambassador of Egypt. We thank you so very much for being here. We appreciate your presence. Your Excellency, sir, this is a large number, a great delegation that is here. And we have recognized members of the Federal Executive Council and missed out the Minister of Power, Engineer Joseph Olasukomi Tegbe. I speak Yoruba, so that shouldn't be a challenge. Engineer Tegbe, we welcome you. We thank you for being here with us. It is at this moment, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that we also say hello and welcome to the Accountant General of the Federation, Dr. Shamsuddin Babajide Ogunjimi, who is here with us. We thank you for your presence. We appreciate you. We know that you are here. We know other heads of agencies are here. We cannot take everybody for want of time, but everybody here is welcome. It's been 27 years, seems just like yesterday, that Nigeria chose the path of democracy to be ruled and governed through the choice of the citizenry. We put our differences behind us and we choose to vote. While addressing the joint session of the National Assembly in commemoration of Democracy Day 2025, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said it's important to argue, to agree, rather than to fight. And so, more importantly, we weave democracy into our culture. This is what this year's lecture is all about. 27 years of democratic governance in Nigeria, achievements, challenges, and the road ahead. As they say in Nigeria, democracy no be beans. It does not answer all the questions, but it sets us aright for development and democracy. And we all know that democracy and development go hand in hand. Please permit me now to introduce our distinguished speaker for the public lecture. Professor Ayo Omotayo obtained his PhD in geography from the University of Ibadan, Nigeria's premier institution, after studying there between 1980 and 1990. He began his academic career at Lagos State University in 1985 and rose through the ranks to become a senior lecturer in 1992. He later served as Dean of the Faculty of Sciences and Director of the Center of Planning before his appointment to NIPS. Beyond academia, Professor Omotayo is recognized as an entrepreneur, public policy analyst, and author with interest in environmental sustainability, governance, technology, and national development. He has contributed extensively to policy discourse through research and public engagement. Professor Omotayo is widely regarded as one of Nigeria's leading policy intellectuals with a career spanning academia, public administration, technology, and strategic national development. A patriot in every sense of the word and a true Democrat. Please welcome our speaker for this top-of-the-range Democracy Day public lecture, Professor Ayo Omotayo.
Let me start by recognizing the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. I recognize all ministers here present. I recognize the representatives of the service chiefs. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to the 27th anniversary lecture of our democracy in Nigeria. It is with profound gratitude to Almighty God and a deep sense of national responsibility that I stand before this distinguished gathering on the occasion of the Democracy Day, a day that occupies a unique and revered place in the history of our nation. On June 12, 1993, Nigerians broke the perennial barriers of ethnic and religious sentiments in the affairs of our country. They spoke overwhelmingly about the kind of country they wanted, with a loud voice through the ballots. That year, Nigerians rose in unison by opting for democracy as against kakistocracy and voted for Chief Moshood Kashimawo Abiola. This did not happen by chance, but through the dint of hard work of many Democrats, led by the then presidential candidate, who has now been officially declared as the true winner of the election. It is gratifying that one of the pillars that stood against the annulment of that democratic voice of Nigerians, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is our president at this time. In absentia, I doff my heart for his diligence, tenacity, and political sagacity. May I express my appreciation to His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for his unwavering commitment to the democratic project and for providing the leadership under which our democracy continues to evolve and mature as Nigeria's fifth president since 1999. Today, we celebrate not merely the passage of time, but the resilience of a people, the triumph of collective aspirations, and the enduring spirit of a nation determined to govern itself through constitutional means. Democracy Day is more than a public holiday. It is a solemn reminder of the sacrifices made by countless Nigerians who believe that the destiny of this nation should be shaped through the ballot rather than the bullet, through dialogue rather than decree, and through the rule of law rather than the rule of force. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, June 12 symbolizes courage, sacrifice, patriotism, and the collective determination of Nigerians to establish a political order founded on popular participation, accountability, justice, and human dignity. We remember with gratitude the heroes and heroines of our democratic struggle, many of whom paid the ultimate price to ensure that future generations will inherit a nation governed by democratic principles. Their sacrifices remain the foundation upon which our present democratic experience stands. Mr. President in absentia, Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I request at this early point that we stand up and observe a minute silence in remembrance and honor of Chief M.K. Abiola and all those who paid the supreme price for the democracy we now enjoy today. May the soul of the patriotic Nigerians who fought for democracy rest in peace. May we have a seat. Thank you. As we commemorate 27 years of uninterrupted democratic governance, we are presented with an opportunity not only to celebrate our accomplishments, but also to have a sober reflection and critically assess our journey, evaluate our present realities, and chart a strategic pathway towards a stronger and more prosperous democratic future. This is critical because our nation emerged from a prolonged period of military rule and embarked upon a new democratic journey. The transition of 1999 represented far more than a change in government. It signified a national rebirth. It marked the restoration of constitutional governance and the renewal of hope among millions of Nigerians who desired a society governed by democratic norms and institutions. The democratic journey has not been without challenges. Yet, the fact that Nigeria has sustained uninterrupted democratic governance for 27 years represents a historic achievement. No period in our national history has witnessed such a prolonged experience of constitutional rule. This continuity has provided the stability necessary for institutional development, economic planning, and social transformation. I think we should congratulate ourselves. Can we clap for Nigeria? Thank you. Let us look at the achievements since 1999, strengthening of political institutions. One of the most significant achievements of our democratic experience has been the strengthening of political institutions, the conduct of successive elections, the peaceful transfer of power between administrations, and the increasing sophistication of electoral management processes demonstrate that democratic norms are becoming more deeply embedded within our political culture. The transfer of power from the political party to another at the federal level, as witnessed in 2015, when power shifted from the ruling party at the time, the PDP to the APC, remains one of the most remarkable milestones in our democratic evolution, and it stands as an evidence of the growing maturity of our political system. Expanded space for citizen participation and inclusivity. Our democratic experience has also expanded the space for citizen participation and more inclusivity. Today, Nigerians enjoy greater freedoms of expression, association, and political engagement than at any previous period in our history. Civil society organizations, professional associations, community groups, and the media have become active stakeholders in governance. Citizens are increasingly demanding accountability from public institutions and participating in national conversations about policy and development. The media landscape has undergone remarkable transformation. Traditional media institutions are being complemented by digital platforms that enable citizens to engage directly with government processes. This expansion of the civic space has strengthened democratic accountability and increased public awareness of national issues. The gradual maturity of key democratic institutions. Another notable achievement has been the gradual strengthening of key democratic institutions. The judiciary has continued to play an increasingly significant role in the interpretation of constitutional provisions and the resolution of political disputes. The National Assembly has expanded its legislative and oversight functions, contributing to the system of checks and balances that is essential to democratic governance. Anti-corruption agencies, regulatory bodies, and accountability institutions have also continued to evolve in response to the demands of governance and public expectations. Let us look at the modernization of the economic landscape. The economic landscape of Nigeria has equally experienced significant transformation during the past 27 years. From the uncertainties, policy acrobatic days, and the inexplicable planlessness of the economy by the military, our country in the past 27 years, under democratic governance, have taken notable strides in the modernization and transformation of the economy. From a unitary-styled economy and straight stranglehold on the critical sectors of the economy, we have witnessed a more liberalized economic space. The liberalization of key sectors of the economy, particularly telecommunications, has revolutionized communication, commerce, and social interactions. The telecommunications revolution has connected millions of Nigerians, facilitated financial inclusion, and created unprecedented economic opportunities. Gradually, over the last 27 years, we have witnessed the increasing application of market rules and participation of citizens in the oil, financial, transportation, education, health, and power sectors, which were hitherto controlled purely by the national government. Recently, the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, did what other past presidents of Nigeria did not have enough courage to do, despite the acknowledgement of its necessity. He removed the fuel subsidy that had for years, since the military regime haunted our economy. Statistics have shown that from a GDP of 95.5 billion in the year 2000, we now have a GDP estimated at nearly 400 billion according to the IMF. I think the president deserves a round of applause for that. For the first time in several years, Nigeria now has a trade surplus. A costly perusal of other economic parameters will show that the country has benefited from democratic dividends. The digital economy. The growth of the digital economy represents one of the defining achievements of democratic governance in Nigeria. Young Nigerians are increasingly leveraging technology to create businesses, generate employment, and drive innovation. The emergence of a very vibrant technology ecosystem has positioned Nigeria as one of Africa's leading innovation hubs and has demonstrated the immense potential of our youthful population. Democratic governance has also facilitated important reforms within the financial sector, enhanced regulatory frameworks, financial inclusion initiatives, and the expansion of digital banking services and fintech applications engendered by democratization of the economic space has improved access to financial resources for millions of Nigerians. Entrepreneurship has flourished in many sectors, contributing to economic diversification and wealth creation. The contributions of the digital economy to the GDP has grown rapidly since the inception of democracy. Of course, we acknowledge this was also driven by innovation in digital technologies in the last few years. Let us look at the social sector. The social sector has similarly witnessed notable progress. Investments in education, healthcare, transportation, and social protection programs have improved the quality of life for many citizens. Access to educational opportunities has expanded significantly, while healthcare interventions have contributed to improvements in public health outcomes. Infrastructure development across various sectors has enhanced connectivity and economic productivity. Examples exist of the various contributions made to the social sector since democracy in 1999. Testaments are there of the NHIS, the pension reform, and recently the highly adopted Students' Loan Fund established under the regime of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Today, the stability brought about by democratic governance has led to a vibrant social life in the country as a whole. I remind us of the enhancement and the international recognition received by social and cultural festivals, just such as the Yoruba and the Dirty December that happens in Lagos. International standing and stature of Nigeria. Nigeria's international standing has equally benefited from democratic governance. As Africa's most populous nation and one of its largest economies, Nigeria continues to play a critical role in promoting peace, stability, and development across the continent. Our contributions to regional peacekeeping, conflict resolution, and diplomatic engagement underscore our commitment to the advancement of democratic values and international cooperation. For the first time in 37 years, the President of Nigeria was accorded a full state visit by the United Kingdom. This clearly shows the new respect from countries with great histories and our own growing stature in the international community. Totally gone are the days of Nigeria being seen as a pariah state. In spite of all of these achievements, the question is, do we have challenges? Let me say that there is no country that does not have its own challenges, and Nigeria does have its own. Let us look at some of our challenges. Although 27 years is a relatively short time in the lifespan of a country that has every prospect of perpetual survival, it is certainly enough time for us to engage in preliminary stock taking. Thus, we can pathologically examine our democratic journey so far. While these achievements deserve celebration, honesty requires us to acknowledge that significant challenges remain. Democracy must ultimately be judged not merely by the conduct of elections, but by its capacity to improve the welfare and well-being of citizens. In this regard, considerable work remains to be done. On security, one of the most pressing challenges confronting our democracy is the persistence of insecurity, terrorism, banditry, and kidnapping, including communal conflicts, and of course, emerging cyber threats. They continue to pose significant risks to national stability and development. Security remains the foundation upon which economic growth, social progress, and democratic consolidation depend. A nation confronted by insecurity cannot fully realize its developmental aspirations. This is why we must accept that our security challenges are a part of the challenges that come while democracy is taking roots, especially in a multi-diverse and multi-religious ecosystem as ours. I'm persuaded that it will soon be a thing of the past. As a new democratic equilibrium is established, our security challenges are perturbations that should dissipate with time and with the application of courageous actions. One of such actions is the recent establishment of the Office of the Homeland Security by the President and the appointment of Major General Yinka Famadewa retired as the head of the agency. We must, at this time, thank our security operatives for their efforts and gallantry in containing the challenges posed by insecurity. I think they deserve a round of applause. At every opportunity that I have, I always tell Nigerians that security agencies are not sleeping, they do not sleep, and they do a whole lot to keep our country safe. Whatever challenges we have at this time, let us consider them as perturbations that will soon dissipate. I thank members of the Nigerian security system. Let us look at our economic challenges. Economic hardship remains another critical challenge. Despite periods of economic growth, poverty, unemployment, and inequality continue to affect millions of Nigerians. The aspirations of democracy cannot be fully realized when large segments of the population remain excluded from economic opportunities. Economic inclusion must therefore become a central pillar of democratic governance. Youth unemployment deserves particular attention, with Nigeria having one of the world's youngest populations. Nigeria possesses enormous democratic potential. Approximately 70% of a population that is estimated to be about 220 million are youths under the age of 30 years. Yet, this potential can only be transformed into a democratic dividend through continued strategic investments in education, skills development, entrepreneurship, and job creation. The future of our democracy will depend significantly on our ability to provide opportunities for young Nigerians to contribute meaningfully to national development. The macroeconomic stability that has been achieved through the economic transformation agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the past 3 years have been remarkable. Governors now receive more allocation than before, and with careful planning and measured foresighting, the benefits of democracy will reach more young Nigerians. Several projects targeted at the youth are beginning to yield results as more of them become aware and sign up. The 3 million tech jobs and the Skill Up Nigeria programs are beginning to gain traction. Democracy in the last 27 years have brought more about transparency and accountability in the public sector. We are not there yet, but there is great hope, and we have made progress. With a whole-of-government approach, it is hoped that the challenges we currently experience in governance will also erode. Citizens increasingly demand more efficient public service delivery, greater transparency, and improved accountability from public institutions. Public trust in institutions remain a critical factor in democratic consolidation. Strengthening governing systems, therefore, requires continuous reforms aimed at improving effectiveness, responsiveness, and citizen satisfaction. And we must thank the head of service of the Federation for our introduction of a complete IT system in communicating with our office. I think she deserves a round of applause for taking the lead. Thank you, ma'am. Now, we cannot talk about democratic governance in Nigeria without looking at corruption, which continues to undermine development efforts and weaken public confidence in government. Resources that should be directed towards key sectors such as education, healthcare infrastructure, and social services are sometimes diverted through corrupt practices. This fight against corruption must therefore remain a national priority, requiring the collective commitment of government institutions and civil society and citizens. Our democracy is expected, has brought about new challenges in the political space. With political competition has come the challenges of electoral violence, vote buying, weak internal party democracy, and all sorts of issues. However, at this period, our democracy is still young and 27 years is certainly too small to totally vitiate these challenges. However, we continue to make progress with the electoral reforms and the infusion of credible technology into the electoral process. Some will contest that there is a declining voter participation. However, I want to posit that technology has indeed largely helped to eliminate ghost voters. Democracy thrives when citizens participate actively and when political competition is conducted within the framework of established rules and democratic norms, and this has largely been the case. Social cohesion presents another important challenge. Nigeria's diversity remains one of its greatest strengths. Yet, ethnic tensions, religious divisions, misinformation, and social polarization occasionally threaten national unity. Building a united Nigeria requires deliberate efforts to promote mutual understanding, tolerance, inclusion, and shared national identity. As we reflect on these challenges, we must also focus on the future. The next phase of Nigeria's democratic journey requires a clear vision and a strategic roadmap capable of transforming democratic governance into tangible improvements in the lives of citizens. The past 3 years have witnessed a clear focus on strategic transformation of our country. The road ahead will continue with strengthening institutions, building strong institutions will remain the bedrock of sustainable democracy. Our democratic future depends not on the strength of individual leaders alone, but on the effectiveness, credibility, and resilience of institutions. Judicial reforms, civil service modernization, regulatory efficiency, and enhanced accountability mechanisms must remain central to our governance agenda. Strengthening the rule of law is very important. This will help to contribute to and guarantee stable democratic governance in Nigeria. The future also requires a renewed commitment to inclusive economic development. Economic growth must translate into broad-based prosperity. Policies should prioritize industrialization, agricultural transformation, value chain development, infrastructure expansion, and support for micro, small, and medium enterprises. Economic inclusion is not merely a development objective, it's a democratic imperative. We are at this time experiencing renewed effort at industrialization, renewed effort at agricultural transformation, and the fast-paced development of our value chains. Technology must become a strategic instrument for democratic transformation. Digital governance systems can continue to improve transparency, efficiency, and citizen engagement. E-governance platforms, digital public services, open data initiatives of the federal government, and the responsible application of emerging technologies can also continue to strengthen public trust and enhance service delivery. Our democracy must continue to encourage the empowerment of our youth, and our women must occupy a central place in our national development agenda. Nigeria cannot achieve its full democratic and economic potential while excluding significant segments of its population from leadership and decision-making processes. Programs like Not Too Young to Contest and special women quota should be legislated to make up for the years that women have lost in the political system. I want to submit that the National Assembly should take up on the bill that gives certain quota for a certain period of years to Nigerian women so that they can catch up on the lost years of lack of participation in the national system. Investments in education, I think women should clap for that. Yes, I've always told women anytime I have the opportunity that after Beijing, what next? Women fought so hard to sit at the table. But now that women are sitting at the table, the question is, what are you taking from the table? It is not enough to sit on the table. It is important that you take something from the table. I reiterate that Nigerian women have the potentials to do much more than they are currently doing. And I believe if they are given the opportunity under the democratic system that we have, they can even do more wonderfully. Can we clap for Nigerian women? Investments in education, leadership development, innovation, and entrepreneurship will also help to unlock the immense talents of our people. Given all the special programs targeted at our youth, the time has come to raise a bill that our youth, that will prevent our youth from falling into poverty. I reiterate, we should raise a bill that will prevent our youths from falling into poverty. We must ensure that our youth do not fail to enroll in one of the many programs that the federal government has designed and that is meant to empower them. It is by doing this that we can significantly reduce the NEET population of Nigeria. NEET meaning not in education, not in employment, not in training. We need to expand the dividend of democracy to our youths, and we have to legislate against their falling into poverty. National security, and I think the youth should clap for that. National security must continue to receive strategic attention. Security interventions should be complemented by investments in education, economic opportunities, social inclusion, and community resilience. Sustainable peace requires addressing both the symptoms and underlying causes of insecurity. Democratic citizenship must equally be strengthened. Democracy flourishes when citizens understand their rights, fulfill their responsibilities, and participate actively in public affairs. Civic education, constitutional literacy, and responsible citizenship are essential components of democratic consolidation. At the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, we remain committed to supporting Nigeria's democratic journey through rigorous policy research, strategic leadership development, and evidence-based policy recommendations. For more than 4 decades, NIPS has served as Nigeria's foremost policy think tank, providing a platform for national reflection, policy innovation, and strategic dialogue. We shall continue to contribute to the formulation of practical solutions to the complex challenges confronting our nation. The future of Nigerian democracy will depend on our collective ability to build consensus around national priorities. Political differences are inevitable in any democracy, but national development requires a shared commitment to the common good. We must strengthen the culture of dialogue, compromise, and constructive engagement in our pursuit of national progress. As we commemorate Democracy Day, we must remember that democracy is not an event, but a continuous process. It demands vigilance, participation, sacrifice, and responsibility. The preservation of democratic gains requires the commitment of government institutions, civil society, the private sector, and every citizen. 27 years of democratic governance have demonstrated the resilience of the Nigerian people and the strength of our national aspirations. We have made significant progress, we have overcome numerous obstacles. We have strengthened institutions and expanded opportunities. Yet, the journey towards a more prosperous, secure, and inclusive Nigeria continues. The task before us is not merely to sustain democracy, but to deepen it, not merely to protect democratic institutions, but to strengthen them, not merely to conduct elections, but to ensure that democratic governance delivers tangible benefits to every citizen. The next chapter of Nigeria's democratic story must be defined by inclusive prosperity, accountable governance, national unity, social justice, and sustainable development. It must be a chapter in which democracy becomes increasingly meaningful in the daily lives of ordinary Nigerians. Now, what are the takeaways for us today? Number one, we must realize the primacy of electoral integrity. The 1993 election that brought about today's democracy that we currently benefit from was free and fair and credible because institutions worked as it should. Second, the unity of purpose must always beat primordial politics. Chief M.K. Abiola won from Sokoto to Lagos, in Kano and Bayelsa. He proved that Nigerians can vote for competence, for hope, and not on tribal basis. Our current president, who won his election in 2023, also proved that Nigerians can vote on basis beyond primordial sentiments. We must realize that we need stronger institutions and not stronger men. Fellow Nigerians that have listened to my lecture, as we honor the heroes of June 12 and celebrate 27 years of democratic governance, let us renew our collective commitment to building a nation where freedom is protected, justice is upheld, opportunities are expanded, institutions are strengthened, and every citizen can realize his or her full potential. Together, let us build a democracy that not only survives, but thrives. Together, let us build a democracy that not only endures, but delivers. Together, let us build a stronger Nigeria for present and future generations. I congratulate the President on this occasion for how far he has led Nigeria. We recall that he is the very first of those who fought for democracy that is at the end of affairs today. I confirm that our democracy is well and alive under this current regime, and I congratulate all Nigerians and wish all us a happy Democracy Day. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Ayo Omotayo, our keynote speaker today, Director General of the Nigerian Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies, who has delivered the keynote speech for the 2026 Democracy Day lecture. Like I always say, if we did not have high heels, we will not be anywhere near as tall as Professor Omotayo, who is towering above us all and has delivered the epic lecture for 2026, the Democracy Day lecture. Congratulations, Professor Ayo Omotayo. Yes, indeed, it's appropriate to clap for him. It's not an easy thing to spend nights and nights. Not only is he looking at how far we have gone in terms of achievements in our democratic journey, he has also been bold enough to stare us in the face by telling us that we should look closely at the challenges And as the representative of the Vice President, our amiable SGF has said, we must look at our challenges, face them, and name them. And I think that point has been made by Professor Omotayo. He says the dynamics of democracy are huge. We have done well, but we need to look at the challenges. We need to look at those challenges that have to do with electoral reforms. We must do them by also introducing technology. We must work on job unemployment to provide something for the youth, which is a huge population in Nigeria, to do. There is also persistent insecurity. We must look at the issue of gender equity, which for me is quite a big deal. Gender equity is the elephant in the room. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, His Excellency, has done excellently well in that area, but there's so much to do because Nigerian women are brilliant, cerebral, and they are way ahead of their peers across the continent. He has also said technology is important. We should strengthen the rule of law. We should look at that persistent insecurity to ensure that it does not challenge our democracy, so that the people in our country can receive the democratic dividends. And he says we should do it the whole of government approach. Another round of applause for Professor Ayo Omotayo, DG NIPS, and the man chosen to deliver the 2026 National Democracy Day Lecture. What an honor. Well done. We sincerely appreciate your effort. Your Excellency, the representative of the Vice President, sir, the Inspector General of Police is represented today by AIG Victor Laya, who is in our midst. And I dare say that when I recognize members of the Federal Executive Council, even though I had seen him and mentioned him earlier, my own minister, the Honorable Minister of Information, has been sitting here in the room and keeping the representative of the Vice President company, Honorable Mohammed Idris, Honorable Minister of Information, and my brother. Welcome. Always good to see you. Your Excellency, the picture session will be well choreographed so that there's no stampede. So I'll take the batches now before I call on the vote of thanks. Batch 1 will involve the SGF, who is a representative of the VP, representative of the Speaker will be in that photograph. The head of service will be in that photograph. The keynote speaker will be in that photograph. And all ministers will be in batch 1. Let me repeat that. SGF, rep of the speaker, head of service, keynote speaker, and ministers. Those who would remain in every batch is the SGF, rep of the speaker, head of service, and keynote speaker in every batch. But batch 1 will have the ministers with this core. Batch 2 will have the core, it will have the keynote speaker and permanent secretaries. Batch 3 will have the core, it will have the keynote speaker and heads of agencies. Batch 4 will have members of the diplomatic corps joining the SGF. Batch 5 will have the representative of the Chief of Defense Staff, representative of service chiefs, and the IGP's representative. And the final batch, I don't want any noise when I make this batch, are our coppers, who the SGF will be patient to wait for to take that last photograph. Copper Sean, clap for me for putting you in photo. We'll appeal to His Excellency, the Vice President's representative, the SGF, to stay back so that he can take a photograph with all of you who have come here in your uniform. Your Excellency, the burden of democracy is not to be carried by one man alone. We must rise collectively to build a fortress around our democracy that no force of anarchy can breach. His Excellency, the Vice President, gave this speech on the 26th Democracy Day lecture. It's time now for me to invite for the vote of thanks to be delivered by Dr. Ibrahim Kana, Permanent Secretary, General Services, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. The vote of thanks, please. Please encourage him as he comes up.
Your Excellency, representative of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is ably represented this afternoon by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, representative of the Speaker of the Parliament, who is here represented by the Deputy Chief Whip of the House of Representatives, Honorable Minister, my boss, the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Didi Esther Wolstenjack, MNI, CON, Honorable Ministers here present, permit me to especially recognize the backbone of this event, Honorable Minister of Information. Sir, we thank you very much. My colleagues, the permanent secretaries here present, members of the diplomatic corps, representative of the Chief of Defense Staff and the service chiefs, and indeed the Inspector General of Police. Permit me, Your Excellency, to recognize especially the youth corps members. I stand here proudly as a recipient of the President Award during my youth service here. Therefore, I still associate myself with the National Youth Service. Also, Your Excellency, as a former president of the Student Union in the university, I cannot but say, great Nigerian students, the greatest Nigerian students, great. This is Democracy Day. Who else are better positioned to celebrate democracy other than the youth of Nigeria? Your Excellency, sir, we want to thank His Excellency, Mr. President, for providing this platform for us to sit down and discuss democracy and freedom of expression and speech. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the current father of democracy in Nigeria, who else is better to actually celebrate MKO Abiola other than President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our dear president? We thank you very much, Mr. President. We equally thank His Excellency Vice President, who actually asked the Secretary to the Government to represent him at this event today. My own immediate boss, the SGF, former governor, former minister, former senator, George Akume, our leader. Sir, we thank you very much. Other honorable ministers, this event couldn't have been successful without your presence here. We thank you very much. I cannot name each and every minister here present, but from the bottom of our heart, we thank you very much for taking time to be with us today to celebrate democracy. My colleagues, permanent secretaries, Accountant General, and Auditor General of the Federation, we thank you very much for coming, for supporting the Head of Civil Service, and supporting the Secretary to the Government, for holding forth in all our ministries, departments, and agencies. The security agencies, we thank you very much. As a former permanent secretary, Minister of Defense, I cannot but continue to appreciate the effort of our security agencies. It is when you are involved in that system that you know that some people actually awake when all of us are sleeping. These are the security agencies, the armed forces, the security, and the police. We sincerely thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Even though when people talk about democracy, some see it as anti-military. In actual sense, even the military is very happy with democracy because they fully support the administration in democracy and all democratic institutions, as it were. Members of the diplomatic corps, you are part of our country. Nigeria cannot be without you. You have been part of our democratic journey from the outset till today. We thank you very much. Each time we send invitations to you, you oblige us. We thank you, and we'll continue to thank you, and we'll continue to partner with your countries. Before I conclude, I must thank the most important person of the day, my own DG. As an alumnus myself of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, my own #1 DG, whom we consider the president of our institute, Professor Ayo Omotayo, for the prolific lecture that he delivered this afternoon. Please, a big round of applause for our own DG. When the choice of Professor Omotayo came up, the Secretary to the Government said nobody is fit to give this lecture at this point in time than the DG of NIPS. That is an institution that government is proud of. That is an institution that government does not think twice about funding the school. You need to be in NIPS to know that Nigeria is a great country. Thank you very much, Prof. Prof did justice to the topic given to him. Prof started by highlighting the milestones that have been achieved so far from 1999 to date. Talked about the social sector, education, infrastructure, telecommunication, name it. Prof went and gave specific examples about achievements made in these areas. But there were challenges. And I quote him, he said, persistent insecurity, meaning democracy did not bring insecurity, but democracy is fighting insecurity. Prof also talked about the challenges of economy. And he said challenges of economy is not only in Nigeria, it is worldwide. Therefore, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing everything possible with the reforms that he has introduced, according to the DG, that is actually helping the economy of Nigeria to progress. Prof concluded by the way forward, and I quote him. He said, our democracy is well and alive. Indeed, democracy is well and alive. And he said, democracy is not an event, but it is a journey that everybody must put his hands together to ensure its success. Prof, we thank you very much. I have personally enjoyed your lecture, and I have no doubt many others here have also enjoyed the lecture. To our youth, and I'm sure from the corpus to the students, many of you, 80% of you were not born when President MKO Abiola's journey started and the struggle came to an end in 1993. But Professor Ayo Omotayo has succeeded in giving you hope for our great country. Nigeria is indeed a great country. We have no other than Nigeria. Your Excellency, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, on behalf of the President and your humble self, we want to thank each and everyone for coming. And we say, Nigeria, no they ever take last. Thank you, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Vote of thanks is a very difficult tranche to take. And we want to thank Dr. Ibrahim Kana, Permanent Secretary, General Services Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, for delivering such a powerful vote of thanks. I would like to recognize very specially Comrade Ekunodiwa Elvis, NAN's National President Representative. I salute you. Where are you? Your hands up so we can clap for you. Thank you very, very much. So let me appeal to the House. We have an unusual number of batches of photographs with the representative of the Vice President. Please remain seated if you are not on the batch so we can keep it seamless and make it quick. As soon as the last batch goes, we'll take the national anthem because there's still, it's Democracy Day lecture, but we still have to go to our offices and carry out the job for which we have been appointed. Batch 1, SGF. The SGF will come up last. He will remain seated until everybody is gathered. So batch 1, SGF, representative of the Speaker, Head of Service, keynote speaker, and ministers. Please make your way up to the steps. The SGF, the representative of the Vice President, will join you once you are already gathered in this space. Thank you. The keynote speaker will remain in every picture. Head of Service on the ground. Representative of the Speaker on the ground, keynote speaker on the ground. They will be joined by the SGF. Everybody else will surround, including the top steps, so that we can have the entire group well taken. SGF, sir. It looks to me like this first batch will be contained on the ground floor. Everybody can be on the ground floor here, but there are steps at the back. If you want to take those steps, you can be seen. But it seems to me that everybody can be contained. Photographers, let me know what you think. No? A few people should go to the back. Okay, all right. So let me take some ministers to the back, standing behind the SGF. Thank you very much. My father's namesake, Baba, has stepped up. Yes, that's our picture. You want some more people up? Okay, there's a space behind. Can we have 2 more people join in the back? No, 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 no. Step up, please. Step up. Thank you. Step up. Step up. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Please keep coming up. Yes. Come up. No, I'm not excluding you. Come up. Okay. So what do you want me to do now? You are the photographer. I'm not. You want all of them up here? Yes. I'd like to crave your indulgence, sir. Everybody will come up here. Thank you. I crave your indulgence, Your Excellency. Forgive me. Is this photographer who put me in trouble? Thank you, sir. So everybody can take the same row. Does that make sense? Yes. Yes. Thank you, sirs. Thank you. Okay, so please, we talked about gender equity. I can't see Dr. Doris. I want to be able to see Dr. Doris. No, 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 no. You no longer are able to stay in the back. You are now here. Please come forward. You no longer, we can't see you. Sorry. Please, sir. Thank you. Is that good? Right. That's the photograph. Thank you. Thank you very much. The ministers can now fall out of this photograph. Thank you. We now have permanent secretaries. The keynote will remain, head of service will remain, representative of speaker will remain. We now have permanent secretaries. Please make your way up to the stage. Please spread on either side of His Excellency, the Vice President's representative. Too many of you are on this side. That side, fill it up. Thank you. Please look towards your camera at this point. Yes, you need to swap. He's taller. Okay. That's batch 2. When you're good, let me know, please. We're good. Permanent secretaries fall out of this picture. Heads of agencies that are here present should please step up real quick. Heads of agencies, thank you. Heads of agencies to quickly join in this photograph. Thank you very much. That's a quick photograph, heads of agencies. Are we good? David, are we stepping down or everybody will be up there? Okay. All right, I think we're good now. The core members of this photograph, Your Excellency, I'd like to crave your indulgence, will now step forward because the diplomatic corps are so many. Yes, no, sir, not now. Service chiefs. Service chiefs will take the picture with you now first. IGP. CDS. Other security agencies in the room. Some of you should step this way, please. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Are we good? All right. This is when I crave the indulgence of His Excellency to step forward. Your Excellency, sir, I'm getting the members of the diplomatic corps to join you now, so you have to step forward so they can stand behind you. So you'll go down. Yes, sir. Members of the diplomatic corps, please. Please join them, sir. Don't worry. We'll share them up here until they get to the top. Some of you will take the steps as we graduate, and then the rest of you will be here. So some of you will be on the steps. The second step here. Maricel. Some of you will be on the second step, the second one. Yes. Yes. And then some of you will, the second one. Maricel, step up. Maricel, step up, please. Thank you. The rest of you would be here. Please be careful. Please be careful. Everybody else has to go. So we need to ask the gentleman to step down so you can use that spot. I don't want anybody. Yes. Can you step down? You come back up. No. You have to step down so they can come up. And then you'll come back to your position. I don't want anybody falling. Please stop coming. I'm right here. Please, right up to the top. Right up to the top. Right up to the top. Please keep coming. Please keep coming right up to the top. There's not enough people here. We need people up here. Thank you. Can you see them? We're good. All the coppers should make haste. We can't keep the representative of the Vice President waiting. Thank you, members of the diplomatic corps. You may step down. Please be careful as you make your way back to your seats. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Your Excellency, for doing us this honor. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, sir. Stick your head in between everybody else and try and get this picture on the road. Okay, so this picture is going to be in batches. The first that has taken will leave the stage, and the next group who are here will go down. Quickly, stand here. I can't see you. Put your head here. Next on that side. Okay, this is the picture of the coppers. Let's give the coppers a round of applause. Thank you. Those of you in the front row, fall apart and leave those that we could not see to step down. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
End it.
Okay, so that's it. This photo is the last photo. That's it. His Excellency is leaving now. Last photo. Stand quickly. Photographers, take this picture. We are done. Your Excellency, Vice President's representative, this is the end of the photo opportunity. I'd like you to please lead His Excellency to his seat. Can we have the national anthem? Please rise for the national anthem. National anthem, media. Let's go. National anthem is, you can't lead us if you won't stop. We are playing the national anthem. Please stop.
Nigerians hope and proud to serve our sovereign fatherland.
Please clear the pathway for the representative of the Vice President to leave. Thank you very much. 2026 Democracy Day lecture, we thank you.